Russian President Putin and India's Prime Minister Modi showing solidarity at the annual Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. China's President Xi is also joining the huddle. The show of force comes as tensions sharpen between all three countries and the U.S. over tariffs. Joining me now to discuss this and more is Kevin Sheridan, Republican strategist and former RNC spokesperson, and Michael LaRosa, partner at the government relations firm Ballard Partners and the former press secretary for First Lady Jill Biden. A warm welcome to you both. So for our viewers at home, the person who skews left is on the right and the person who skews right is on the left. Okay, great to have you both with us. Kevin, let's start with you. I mentioned off the top that you had President Putin and India's Prime Minister Modi. They were actually holding hands, a show of solidarity today. How big is this a snub to President Trump, who has made an effort to bring India away from its oil and trade relationship with Russia?
Yeah, it remains to be seen. He also put out a statement this weekend, really directed at India. That's an extremely important relationship where he thinks that too much of our trade imbalance is way off with that country. They import to us, we can't import to them. Remains to be seen what that Russia relationship with India looks like. They do give them all their oil. Their oil and gas goes from Russia to India. If Trump can break that up a little bit and get some of our LNG or our oil to them, that would be a big win. But yeah, this is high stakes international negotiations. And look, Putin knows what he's doing, and right. The optics are clear that he wants to send a shot across the bow that he's involved in India as well.
And Michael, what do you make of this? What does it say about the president's efforts to change things internationally?
Well, I think this is one of those circumstances where his style, his brash and aggressive style of diplomacy has not yielded the desired diplomatic outcomes that he hoped for. With the tariffs, by slapping 50% tariffs on India, insulting them, and really spewing some tough talk, at least on social media, it's really driven them into the arms of sort of the Russians and the Chinese right now. And Modi seems to be trying to get under Trump's skin with his own sort of grand pageantry of visuals and images over there with Putin, Xi, and sort of like the gang's all there, right?
And Michael, let me ask you about a top domestic priority for the president. He's now threatening to send the National Guard to Chicago. The recent stats show violent crime in D.C. has been reduced since the deployment of the National Guard there. So why don't Democratic leaders in Illinois and Chicago welcome the efforts from the administration to keep people safe?
Well, I think there's a lot of questions about the federal government's the legal role for the federal government and in terms of sending troops into American cities. The president certainly has plenty of leeway in Washington, D.C., because it is federally governed. But I would also caution Democrats because I think the president's gut is correct, is that when it comes to major cities, Chicago being one of them, people don't feel particularly safe. But I do think Democrats need to be a little bit stronger in supporting the fact that we need more cops, maybe not troops, but more cops on the streets for sure.
And Kevin, what do you make of that? Can this afford to be the new normal with federal troops in major cities? It's expensive.
Well, Michael's right. He's on safe ground on the immigration issue. If he sends more ICE agents, or even if he, uses the National Guard to support them, then he's on very safe constitutional ground. It does become a question about crime enforcement. But look, as a 25-year resident of D.C., the city looks fantastic. It's safe. It feels safe. Everybody knows it here. It's an incredible turnaround in just a couple of weeks. And I think he's pushing blue state governors and mayors and saying, look, we can do this. You can do this. He's pressuring them. And if blue state governance continues to go the way it goes, we're going to get another 45 shootings over Labor Day weekend and 7 dead in Chicago. And that's just something that I think Donald Trump does not want to see continue. And anything he can do to push governors and mayors to do something about it, I think is a good thing.
And Kevin, we got Congress back today, and the Jeffrey Epstein investigation remains an issue for this administration. Many of his supporters want to see more transparency. Where do you sit on the topic? What can be done next?
Yeah, this is the issue that just won't die. Look, there's a very loud online group of Republican influencers, conservative influencers, who are not going to let this go. There's also some members of Congress who are not going to let this go. And since there are Democrats who they think they can embarrass Donald Trump, I don't think there's much in there. If there was, it would have come out in the last 4 years against him. But they're teaming up now to try and get more information out there. We don't know what more information even exists, but I think everybody is not satisfied with what has come out so far. So this is not going to go away until ever, until he's out of office.
And in the last few seconds, Michael, what do you make of this topic?
Sort of not my circus, not my monkeys kind of thing. The president lies in bed with conspiracy theorists, so he has to kind of do his own sort of internal diplomacy with the conspiracy theorists that are out there when it comes to these Epstein files and Epstein things. They made this sort of their sort of cause during the 2024 campaign, so now it's up to them to kind of handle it.
Not my circus, not my monkey is a phrase I've not heard in a while. Kevin Sheridan, Michael LaRosa, great to have you with us this morning. Thanks for being with us.